something. Like happiness comes through meaning. Today, and like why women love Islam. So there's a general perception of what feminism is, and they think, oh, the West invented feminism. In fact, Islam invented feminism. Like first university was made by a Muslim lady, for example, and the first rights to property, for example, were given by Islam.
That's your view.
Over, perception of 1,500 years ago, the same rights were given only
by the
100 years ago in England.
Okay.
So there's a lot of, I don't really debate as much. It's more like, here's some information. If you don't agree, share it with me, and I'll tell you any counter facts. I'm not really...
Okay, well, let's keep it light-hearted then, because there are some things you said there that I think don't ring true to me.
Sure, I mean, just talk about it. And then
sure. So
that's the whole point of the... Oh, are we recording already?
Are you alright with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Where's our friend gone?
I'm going to do it really quick though, because I'm going to try to start at 2 o'clock.
Okay, that's fine. What time is it now? I don't want to keep
20
you late.
minutes. No.
Okay, that's fine. We have a hard deadline. That's absolutely fine.
I'm going to do my prayers as well in a bit. And
nice.
Because when I get started talking, then anyway.
Yeah, I know what it's like. You're always invested in these things.
Yeah.
So you say that Islam brought about, I guess you say, feminism.
Yes.
Okay. So can you explain a little bit about that? Exactly why that is? And
okay. So things like Islam is the first religion to give right to property, women's inheritance to property, right? The same rights are only given about 100 years ago in England. It's well ahead of its time. The first university ever created, I think it's in Morocco, by some lady called Fatima, also by, a Muslim lady, right? So there's that we're well ahead of the times, and what we hear about feminism now, I don't think a lot of women support. For example, they say men and women are exactly the same. But you kind of look at men and women and you realise, well, there's something wrong about that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with
And
that.
the psychologists, back to psychology, they'll say that men and women are incredibly different, and we kind of know that, but we've been hearing all sorts of opposite things. So, for example, when a woman has a baby, her brain architecture literally changes. It's called baby brain, right? It's a psychological thing, it's a finding, it's science, whatever. So you got specialism. And men just are, according to psychologists, and when I do these things, I have the website, I have loads of links to the information by psychologists saying, for example, men are more into industrialization and systemization, which makes them just better at money, but as a Muslim, I don't value people by how much money they make. But I value things like love, which doesn't come through money. So that's my kind of idea. It's just very practical, and it's not hateful towards anybody. It's just like, this is what will make people happier.
Sure. So I guess where my concerns will come in here would be that there are prescriptions that are prescribed to men in Islam that are not prescribed to women, and vice versa.
Sure.
So it's interesting you bring up inheritance, because according to my understanding of Islamic, the Deen, women do not inherit the same way that men do, right?
Yes,
in fact, women. Right. So, for example,
they get less. Yes.
They get less, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So now it's important to remember that Surah 33, Ayah 21, it says that Muhammad is an example to the Ummah. And I believe that holds today. In the Deen, right? You follow the pattern and conduct of Muhammad.
Which means the faith, just for people who don't.
Sure. I apologize. Maybe I'm going.
Are you a Muslim? Or
I'm not. I'm afraid.
Okay,
I'm a Christian.
Sure.
So I come at a different perspective. Although I do agree with some of what you said.
Sure.
Because I do agree that there is a difference between men and women.
Yes. I think there's a lot of, I come from I've lived in a Muslim country where there are loads of Christians and we totally understand each other.
Where is that, by the way?
Jordan.
Okay, yeah.
There's so much, my best Eid in Jordan, in a Muslim country, was in a Christian family. They hosted it,
Okay,
so there's a lot of connection, and and Islam encourages like understing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have questions about that as well.
You know that word, that verse of the Quran, tell the people of the book to come to a word that you agree on. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. So,
anyway.
Okay. Maybe I'll talk about that. But let's go back to the point. So, so therefore it is good to follow the conduct and pattern of Muhammad, and you find this through the Quran and the Sunnah. Then we also know that it is prescribed for women, assumably for all time, that they do not inherit on the same grounds as men.
Because they have different responsibilities, right? They have to.
What are their responsibilities differ?
So women, it's almost, I would say it's even in a way unfair to men. It's so tough on men because women just keep the money, whatever they want. They don't have to spend on the household at all. But men have to. So whatever money they get, it's not even theirs. They have to spend it. They have to spend it on other women, like their wives, their mothers, everybody. So it makes sense. I think it's reasonable. Wouldn't you say it's reasonable?
No, because it still harms. So, for example, think of it this way. Imagine there's a man and he passes away, sadly, and he has 2 sons and a daughter.
Yeah.
That daughter is going to get less.
Sure.
And then that daughter could get married.
Yeah.
And then immediately in that new family,
yes,
it's now at a disadvantage compared to if one of the sons went with a daughter. They would have a financial advantage, whereas the daughter has a less advantage.
So hopefully when she gets married, it's to a man, and that man will also inherit money, more money, and things like that.
But wouldn't they have a better, and I guess more equal in a literal sense, as the other sons, if she inherited the same?
So I think, in short, just to summarise it, because I'm just going to go, right?
Sure.
It's about specialisation. We believe in specialisation, okay? In economics, what do they call it? They call it specialisation or division of labour.
Division of labour, yeah, sure.
Okay? Like, the reason why I'm a doctor, I'm not a doctor, even if I could train to be a doctor, but I'm a teacher, because I want to be really good at what I do. Okay, we say biologically, women are really good at raising children, young children, right? And it kind of makes sense. Just a little bit of thinking. I told you some science already, right?
Yep.
Men, biologically, better at being industrial, right? As psychologists say. So we get men to do, the money-making stuff. You get better effects. You get better families, and the result is. You can see Muslim families have more children, and the reason why they have more children, this is statistically true, right? The reason why they have more children is because the families stick together. In the West, you have the exact opposite situation, as we're becoming less Christian, for example, right? And there's a statistic that as people attend church less, they become less happy. And I can see, because they've got less boundaries, all the families are breaking down as well, right? Would you agree with that?
I think the world is becoming more secular.
Yeah.
And I think they are turning away from Christian values, yes.
And isn't it destroying families, right?
I agree, yes.
Exactly. So we agree on that, right? And so my point is, by letting go of these really important values, the West is basically collapsing on itself. There's a population
I will agree with this.
And I value those other values. Anyway, go on, you say the last word. I'm going to go in a minute, but go on.
Okay, well, I was to go aside here. So yes, I agree with you in the distinction between men and women. I agree that there are specializations. However, it doesn't follow from that it is good, therefore, to treat in law differently, especially when it comes to financial reasons, because when one man and one woman come together, they are in one family and the value is shared. Now, it's also important to remember that one man can have how many wives? Or 2, 4. And those whom his right hand possesses. So he has luxury in this,
I'm going to get into that.
All right, it's all right. We don't have to go in that one. Okay. But my point to that is that in and of itself causes issues within families.
Sure.
And there are many, and I've looked at them. Are you aware of Quora, the website? It's like people go on there and they post stories and questions.
Quora. Oh, yes,
Quora. That kind of thing, right?
Yeah, QU.
Yeah, QUORA, I think it is. Well, there are stories you can read out there. Muslim women who are saying, look, my husband wants another woman.
Yeah.
How am I to understand this? How am I to understand that my husband is not satisfied with me alone, but rather would also take someone else, who he believes he can treat equally? Because that's the verse, right?
Sure, that's the idea.
Yeah, that's the idea. Surah 4, ayah 3.
Yeah, so a lot of moral things are like between you and God, and you better not mess up with God because you're going to meet God at the end. So you can claim that you're going to... what I'm going to do, because I'm going to go...
Sure.
Please, when you post this video, can you post it, email it to me?
Email it to you as well.
Okay. That's all my YouTube stuff anyway.
Yeah, I'll put your website there as well in the description.
Oh, cool.
Let people know.
What's your name, by the way?
My name is Chris.
Chris.
My channel is Chris at Speaker's Corner.
Cool, I'll check it out.
No worries.
Interesting conversation.
I always love calm, relaxed, intelligent conversations, and you obviously seem like quite an intelligent man, so I like these kind of discussions.
And it helps me. Like, you're basically, for me, you're spreading Islam for me. I mean, for me, that's what I mean. Well, I think intelligent conversations and good behaviour.
Of course, yes. Through our conduct is it's always important to have a good conduct. Obviously, as a Christian, I would call you to Christ. And I do so and invite you to that.
Yeah, and you probably do it out of love, right?
Of course, That's the reason why. Through Christ, I'm commanded to do that. Yeah, to love my enemies.
Yeah. Very nice talking to you.
Pleasure talking to you. What was your name, sorry, again?
Khalid. Khalid. Big questions answered.com.
Big questions answers. All right. God bless you. Take care.